Hello, welcome to CKE 10,001's gaming channel. In this video, we'll be looking at my Konosuba Explosion Japanese deck profile for the year 2019. This deck build runs 14 level 0s, 13 level 1s, 4 level 2s, 11 level 3s, and 8 climax cards. The first card we're going to take a look at is Board Game Megumin, and I'm running at 3 copies. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a climax. If you do, choose an adventure or magic character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. And the second effect is auto. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this card to an open position of your center stage. So it's a free runner with a climax discard outlet effect. Then I'm running 4 copies of Ambush Union. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 1, take a hit. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 card named Megumin, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then the second effect is activate, resonate, pay 1, reveal the level 3 Megumin card, and rest this card. If you do, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 adventure or magic character from among them, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. So it's basically a guarantee brainstorm that also has a plussing Ricky effect specific to the Megumin. Then I'm running 3 copies of Lonely Birthday Union. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. If you do not have any other characters, this card gets +1 level and infinite power. And when this card becomes reversed in battle, you cannot use auto encore. And then I'm running 2 copies of Soul Salvation Aqua. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is an adventure, goddess, or actually church devotee character, put in your hand, choose a card in your hand, put in your waiting room. Second effect is when the card is placed on stage from your hand, pay 2 stock. If you do, return all cards from your waiting room into your deck and shuffle your deck. So it's refreshes you without taking the refresh point damage, and it acts as a filter. Then I'm running 2 copies of Reason to Turn Down Megumin. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 1 stock, discard a card. If you do, search deck for up to 1 adventure or magic character, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and put in your hand and shuffle your deck. Then at level 1, I'm running 3 copies of the Darkness backup. It's a 1/0/2K backup if you have a adventure or seeker bunko character. Then I'm running 4 copies of this Megumin level 1. When this card is placed on stage for hand, during this turn, this card gets +3 from power, and then it has a climax combo. When this card's battle becomes reversed, if the level 3, if the real explosion magic, so the red stock charge climax that you use for the level 3 in this deck, but you can also use as a level 1 combo, is in your climax area, you can place up to 1 card from the top of your deck into your stock and choose up to 1 Megumin from your waiting room and return it to your hand. Then I'm running 4 copies of the Bunny Girl Union. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. If all your characters are magic, this card gets +2,000 power. Second effect is a climax combo. When this card's battle becomes reversed, if Light of Saber is in your climax area, you can put up to 1 card from the top of your deck into your stock and reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is level 1 or higher, put it in your hand. So it gets you event cards too. So and it's off a climax salvage character savage climax. Then I'm running 2 copies of Nice Explosion Megumin. It has 2 auto effects. The first is when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 1 or lower, you may reverse that character. The second is auto encore, hand encore, by discarding a character from your hand to your waiting room. And then at level 2, I'm running 2 copies of the blue event seizure of private property. Put all your opponent's stock into your opponent's waiting room, and then at the end of the turn, your opponent puts the same number of cards from the top of his or her deck into the stock. And so it kind of ruins people's clean stock. And then I'm running 1 copy of this 2/1 promo card. When this card becomes reversed in battle, reveal the top card of your deck. If that is level 2 or higher, put it into your hand. The second effect is when this card becomes reversed, if the battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, reverse that character. Then I'm running 1 copy of Calling for Teacher Megumin. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card attacks, if it's facing a level 3 or higher, this gets +6,000 power. And when this card's level 2 or higher, battle opponent becomes reversed, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, choose a character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. Then I'm running 3 copies of Steel Successful Chris. It has 3 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from hand, you can heal 1. Second effect is when the card attacks, you can choose one of your other adventure characters, and that character gets plus X power. X equals to 500 multiplied by the number of other adventurers you have. And the third effect is when this card attacks, you can pay 1 stock, discard 2 characters from your hand to your waiting room. If you do, look up to 3 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, choose up to 3 cards from among them, put them into your opponent's waiting room, return the rest to your opponent's deck, and shuffle his or her deck. Then I'm running 2 copies of Aqua. It has 3 effects. The first is during this card's battle, your opponent cannot play backup from hand. The second effect is when this card is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, your opponent chooses 2 clans in your opponent's waiting room, return all cards in your opponent's waiting room except those cards into your opponent's deck, and your opponent shuffles his or her deck. The third effect I don't really use because I don't run that class card, so only the first 2 we care about. And then I'm running 2 copies of Mesmerizing Water Goddess Aqua. It has 3 effects. The first is continuous. If the number of Adventure Goddess or Actually Church Devotee characters you have is 4 more, this gets -1 level from your hand. The second is during your turn, if all your characters are Adventure Goddess or Actually Devotee, this gets +1 power. And when this card is placed on your hand, you can discard a card and heal into stock. And then I'm running 4 copies of the level 3 Megumin card. It has 2 effects. The first is when the card is placed on stage from hand, look up to 3 cards from top of your deck, choose 1 card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest in your waiting room. And the second effect is a climax combo. At the beginning of your attack phase, if a card named Real Explosion Magic is in your climax area, and this card is stand on your center stage, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, deal 4 damage to your opponent, choose the level 3 or lower character facing this card and put in your opponent's clock, and then rest this card. And then the last cards I'm running are the class cards. I'm running 4 copies of Light of Saber for the level 1 combo, and 4 copies of Real Explosion Magic, which is the red stock charge for the secondary level 1 combo and the level 3 combo. And then next up in the second half of this video, we'll be looking at my English version of this deck. So this is the changes I would make to make it an all English deck for the year 2019 without Japanese cards. So I would first take out the Japanese, the 3. Well, those are the Japanese cards I'm running, the 7 there, and the 7 level 1s and the 1 level 2. So I would take out this level 2 and replace it with the Darkness level 2. It has 2 effects. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this card to an open position of your center stage with a character facing it. And then second effect is when this card becomes reversed, if the level of this battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you can put that card into your opponent's stock and then put the bottom card out. So, yeah. And then these are the other Japanese cards being ran in the deck, the 7 cards. And then what we can do is take out the 3, and add in these 7 cards. Yeah, so the 3 yellow backups become the 3 yellow Kazumas. And it has 2 effects. The first is when this card becomes reversed in battle, you choose a card in your opponent's clock, put it into your opponent's waiting room. If you do, your opponent puts the top card of your opponent's deck into your clock. And then this is also a level 0 stock bomber. And then I'm running 2 copies of the Shaken Megumin. When you use cards backup, you can discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, choose your opponent's character a little higher than your opponent's level and put it in his waiting room. So it's early play backup punish. And 2 more copies of the level 1 Nice Explosion Megumin. So in total, 4 of that one. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check EncoreDecks.com in the link below to see an overview of both of these profiles.